Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Carl Joshua Piochoco, CCSE faculty. Welcome. On this video, I'll be discussing three topics, namely, method that returns values, method reusing, and method overloading. First, let's discuss what is a method that returns a value. A method always requires a return type. This return type can be any type used in Java. We have three return types that we can use. First, primitive types. These are data types that are normally used in Java. Integer, long, short, byte, double, float, character, and strings. Another one is your class type. This is used for advanced method declaration that returns a class. And lastly, void return type. The void returns nothing by default. When we declare a method that is not void, the method requires a return statement. A return statement causes a value to be sent from the called method back to the calling method. For you to understand more about the method that returns a value, let's have a short demo for this topic. Okay, so here are we on our demo, on the topic method that returns a value. Okay, first what we are going to do now is to declare a method. So when we declare a method, we need an access modifier, public, then your static, okay, then the return type, either primitive types, class type, or void. So for this demo, I'll be using a data type double. Then a method name compute average. Okay. As you can see, we have a short error here. It says missing return statement. As I said on the lecture, if you have a return statement or return type, you need a return statement. So return, then specific value of a double, for example, 10.10. Okay? This is only for the example to remove the error in here. Okay? So let's continue. For example, we are going to compute the average of three double values. So I'll be declaring a three double variables. Double A equals 5, B equals to 10, and C equals to 15. Then we are going now to get the average of the three variables. So double average equals, then we will now change the value of the return statement into the variable average. Take note, the data type of the average is double because the return type is double. You cannot return an integer if your return type is double. So it's supposed to be, this will be a double variable. So let's proceed. For example, I'll be calling now the compute average. Okay? So when we return the value, it should has a receiver. So the receiver should be compatible with the return type. So if the return type is double, the receiver should be double also. So I'll be declaring a double variable here, then average. Okay? Then, let's try to print if there is an output. System.out.println. So if I run the program, the output would be the average is 10.0. Then the value of the double average on my method compute average will be returned to the method caller, which is on our main method. We call the method compute average, save the returned value on our double average. Then, we output the average. Another example, I'll be declaring a public static string, okay? Display name. Okay? So, it needs a return statement again. So, return null. Okay? Then, I'll be displaying a name string, str name. Then, I'll be returning this str name to the method caller. So, I'll be changing the null into str name. So, let's try to call the display name. So, if I run the program, there will be no output for the display name. Why? Because it didn't receive a value string or data type string. So, I need first to declare a string, then name equals display name. Then, display now our name, which is your Cardo Dalisay. So, if I run the program, the name will be output as Cardo Dalisay. That's for our video. Let's go to the method reusing. Let's discuss now the second topic of our video, method reusing. Method reusing is creating or declaring a method and calling the method multiple times in your program. Let me show you how to use method reusing in programming. Okay, so let's start the demo in method reusing. So first, I'll be declaring a method. So public, static. Method reusing always requires a return type. So for example, on my demo, I'll be using string and it will always get a string value. For example, get string. Then return null. Okay. When we say get string, input is specific value or string value. So you need your scanner. So we will now import our scanner class. Then I'll be declaring an object for my scanner. Then I'll be displaying for formality, enter is string value. Okay? So I'll be saving now the entered value or entered string value on a variable. So string str value equals oscan dot next. Then return now your str value. So we're done already with one method, get string. So it will ask the user to enter string value, then save the value on our str value, then return the str value to the method caller. I'll be declaring string str name equals get string. Then another one, method calling string cors, get string. Take note, I am using only one method, okay, but calling it multiple times. So another one, string str school. Then let's try to output these three values. So let's try now to run our program. So you need to enter string value, that is firstly for the name, so Cardo. Next one is your course, this one. So VSIT. Then another one is your school, Larma. So after that, the output is name, Cardo, course, VSIT, and school, Larma. Now, how am I going to change this enter string value, enter string value, enter string value to a specific word? We can now use a parameter in our method. So, I'll be declaring a parameter on our getString, string value str message. Then, I'll be changing now my display data. Let's remove this one. Then, just simply change that into str message. Okay? So, our method getString requires a parameter, one parameter, which is string. By that, we can change the getString by sending a message. For example, enter name. Then, enter course. Enter school. So, if I run the program, enter name now is Cardo. So, it is already specific. Then, enter course, VSIT, and school, Larma. Okay? Then Cardo, BSIT, and Lorma. Okay? Let's try another method, reusing. Let's use a return type integer. So, public, static, int, get, integer. So, it's also the same with our get string. So, we need a string str message. Okay? Then, we will now again declare a scanner. Then, system.out, int I, then it will return the I value. Okay? So, let's try again to call our get integer in our main method. So, if you want to use the get integer, your return type is int. So, you need an int data type. So, for example, ih equals, so get int or integer, enter age. Then another one, for example, int I year equals get integer, enter year. So, let's try to display. So, let's try to run our program. So, enter name, Carl, course, BSIT, school, Lorma, age, 15, then year, 4th year. So, the output now is name, Carl, course, BSIT, school, Lorma, age, 15, year is 4th. As you can see, every time I am creating a method that is method reusing, I always declare the object for the scanner. But we have a solution on this one. We can actually make this a global object. How am I going to use it as global object? Just simply erase this one, erase again this one. Go to your public class. Okay? Then here, I am going to declare a public static scanner oscan equals new scanner system.in. Okay? So, we have now a global variable or global object for our scanner oscan. So, we can now use it on our different methods like in getString. Okay? So, this is global. And on our getInteger, another global. So, this is all for the method reusing. Let's proceed now to our next topic, method overloading. Our last topic to discuss is method overloading. Method overloading is creating a method with exactly the same method name but differs in parameters. To furthermore discuss our last topic, let me show you how to use method overloading. Okay, welcome on the method overloading demo. In here, I'll be discussing method overloading so that you can understand more about this topic. So, as I said on our lecture, method overloading is creating a method, okay, different method with exactly the same method name but differs in parameters. So, let's start. So, first, I'll be declaring a method, public static. Let's use the void. For example, let's use add. Then, another one, take note, there will be an error. It says here that method add two numbers is already defined in class method overloading. So, I have two methods with the exact the same method name, but I can remove the error by adding a parameter in here, second method. So, for example, int I first number. So, the error now is gone. I'll be declaring another method. So, again, you cannot have a method with exact method name and exact parameters. So, it should have a different parameters. So, I'll be adding another parameter here, int second number. So, the error now is gone. Now, let's proceed. On my first method, add two numbers, I'll be displaying, on my next add two numbers, I'll be displaying, then on my third method, I'll be displaying, okay. So, let's try to call one method in here. So, for example, I'll be calling add So if I call the add two numbers without the parameter or zero parameter, this will be your output. So if I run the program, the output would be, next, let's try to call the add two numbers with single parameters. So run the program. So the output now is 70. Take note, I call the first method add two numbers without the parameter or zero parameter. Second is add two numbers with a single parameter. Then it was saved in our parameter data type iFirst number. So the output is 50 plus 20, 70. Next, let's try to call again the add two numbers. So on my third method, this will be your method that was called. So if I run the program, so 30 for the first method, add two numbers. Second method, which is 70, I pass 50, then add it on a 20 value, so 70. And lastly is your add two numbers again. And I have two parameters, 50 and 100. Okay? So I first plus I second number is 150. That is how method overloading works. That's all for our video. Hope you understand something on the three topics that I discussed. Good day and keep safe.